of,
Yeah, but
of the call is if you
I
want to
mean,
ask something, yeah, if there's something you want to
like,
ask, you can
when
always
I
ask.
want to talk, yeah, I can unmute, but with
Yeah,
that, I don't want to like, it's because I'm outside. So
right, okay,
yeah, and
okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Uh, gee, admit. All right, who is joined us?
It's me, Marshall.
Yeah, I know you're here, Marshall. It's I think we've got is that you again?
No, I think it's somebody's name G or something.
Is that George?
Yeah, good
George.
evening. Sorry. Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, cool. Welcome, bro.
thanks, bro.
All right, okay. So yeah, we just about started anyway. So uh welcome to welcome to the call. Let's start with the USD market cap as we always do. So let's start with that one and just have a look at what's going on there with the market cap. But the last time I tried to do this thing, it messed me up. I don't know why, but look at this. Nothing seems to work on the charts. When I go into that chart, it just messes everything up. Okay, let's try and refresh everything again. Let's try and refresh. Leave. Okay, right. Let's start with the total market cap then, because I think the other one is messing me up when I go into it. So let's start with total market cap. So total market cap for crypto, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, these are altcoins. So, these are the coins obviously we play with. So let's start with that. Um, so last month was a good month. This month is also turning out to be okay-ish. Um, the month has not ended. We've got a few more days, 5 or 6 days, I think. 6 days, 27, 28, 29, 30, 30. I think about 5 or 4 days left for the month. So we can't draw much of a conclusion on this until the month is closed. So, but we clearly starting to kind of trend upwards. MACD is still red, which is normal because we're coming to the end of the kind of the either the end of the move. This move is ending, so and a new one is starting. So MACD is coming down. We like to see MACD keep going up. So this is a warning shot that the move to the upside potentially could be stalling. But if if we get green candle like we did the last cycle, so if you look at this cycle here and we look at how it changed, so we were coming down and down, and then all of a sudden it kind of changed. So it changed and then started going higher and higher. So if I make yeah, so we started going higher and higher and higher before the collapse, right? So we'll have to wait to see if it changes and starts ticking upwards. That's what we are looking for. That's what we want to see. Otherwise, if it keeps going down and down, the chances are this is going to collapse down and it's going to come down. But we can't draw conclusions until the month is closed anyway. So let's crack on. Let's go into the weekly chart. The weekly chart is we had this dump here, and I think I posted on the platform that we should expect about a 4% drop on Bitcoin because of this daily. There's a daily golden cross coming, which is exactly what happened. So we dropped from here to there, which is about we dropped that's last week, isn't it? Yeah, we dropped almost 10%. 10% last week on Bitcoin, which is quite a drop. So the line, we're still above the line, so which is good. We're not below this line, the trend line. So we still, in terms of upward momentum, is still there. The good news is we've got our MACD is green, so that is positive. So I want to try and make this bigger. So you guys can see. So it's still green, which means continuation. So if the week closes, and of course this week will close at midnight. So if we close midnight and MACD is still green, then that's really positive. It means that chances are we'll go up higher. Because this whole candle is red, sometimes you can pull back down first before you go up. So it's possible that when the week, opens, although the bulls are trying to push price up, bears are still controlling this candle because it's red, right? And most of the time when you see these sort of candles like that, you tend to go down first, then you come up, right? So, typical example is, again, this one here. So bulls try to push price up, you come down first. Not all the time, because here we came down, but we didn't come significantly down, Even this one, we came down a little bit. So there will be some downward motion wherever this candle closes, and, because the week is not closed and it closes at midnight, it's difficult to tell whether it's going to close here or it's going to close up here. But wherever it closes, there'll be a pullback down, right? Last week, all the lines that we drew, so we had a line here for price to go here as our price target. We didn't hit that, but we hit this one here, which is the pullback zone. So that was hit, but we haven't got our kind of rise target yet. So the weekly is looking promising as it is now, but this needs to stay green for bullish momentum to continue, which I think it will do, because we only go about 6 hours left. So I think it likely stays green. If we go to the 6 days chart, so the 6 days, this is 6 days of trading chart. So the last 6 days we had a triple red, and this tells me that chances are we will come down below 60. Well, we are on the crypto market cap. Sorry, I'm thought we have Bitcoin. Yeah, this tells me that we probably will come down. This rise to the upside is because of the push. Bulls trying to push price up, and therefore, of course, you go up first. If you go up first, chances are you're going to come back down, because this down that we had, although we came down a little bit, I'll make it bigger so we can see. We've come down a little bit here, but it's possible that we come back down a bit more because this is red, triple red, a triple red scenario here. So like this one here, we went up, we came down, we came down below the candle, then we started going up. So I do expect something similar. This comes down. So the altcoins are more likely to come down again, before we get our kind of move to the upside, because of the 6-day chart. The 6 days chart is giving us an inclination of what's going to happen. If we go to the daily chart on the market cap is looking bullish. You've got quite a strong volume here, and we're kind of going up with a triple green. So it's possible that we go all the way back up to somewhere here, 621 billion, before maybe, we try to kind of pull back down. So that's the daily chart. The daily chart is looking good. It's looking promising from a move to the upside. And then 12 hours on this chart, 12 hours again, this was the big drop that we had, but we had support on the 200 moving average, and we're starting to bounce off, right? So we're bouncing away from it. I think we'll come back to the zone. No two ways about it. We will revisit this place again. Somewhere here will be revisited. Whether it is here, whether it's here, whether it's a double bottom type scenario, I think we'll be coming back down to revisit it again. More likely than not. So that's 8 hours. Let's have a look at the 8 hours. In 8 hours, you can see we've been going up and up and up, which is great. The 21 moving average here is just about, at some point, is going to cross the 50-day moving average at some point, and that will probably send us back down. that sends us back down somewhere here. So let's put a line there as our kind of, let's put our line there, somewhere there as a zone between here and here, as a zone for this pullback to fall. And, you know, this one has already been achieved, so we can take it off, right? So this is probably what's likely to happen. So we go up, we come down from a lower high here somewhere, a lower high type scenario, and it becomes like a W, and then you go up. So that's the crypto market cap. There's definitely some pullbacks, some pullback coming, and you can see even with the volume, right? You see the volume here, see the volume there, see the volume is declining. So volume is declining while the price is going up. It's not positive. That's a sign of, you know, weakness, and therefore it probably will come back down. So that's the total crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's go and look at Bitcoin itself. So Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin last week, let's look at a weekly chart first. Monthly, I don't want to start. Well, I mean, maybe we should just look at a monthly for the sake of, you know, completeness, I guess. Again, we've got a very good candle here. You know, the month is closing well. Volume is reasonably okay. It's not as high as last month, but the month is not closed. So it's difficult to make any conclusions on that. The MACD is still red, like we saw on the crypto market cap. And we want to see MACD start either changing to green to support us going up, not constant red. So I think in November, it will be very critical to see what color we get on MACD. If it's green, then we'll be going bonkers, as someone would say. So here, nothing has changed really much. We just need to wait for the month to close. We're still above the zone, so we're still above that trend line, which is positive. I don't think we'll break this trend line on the monthly chart. The weekly chart, we came into the zone. So we came into the zone that we marked. So strong support zone, we hit it. Dead on was hit. And I think it ties in with the golden cross kind of analysis that obviously I posted. So bulls are definitely pushing the price. They're trying to push the price back up, which is good to see that the price being defended. But if we cross, you know, red, you know, then chances are we will come down first before going up. We will definitely come down first. Would we exceed this candle? It's possible. It's very possible. Would we exceed it first? It's possible. I mean, we could come even all the way down up to what, like 63K, you know, before going, you know, parabolic. That is possible. So for me, I think next week, you know, I think we come down first and then go up. That's what I'm seeing currently on this chart. If we stay like this, then more likely than not, because if you go and look at, you know, all of them, like this one here, you know, we came down. Even this one, we came down. Although we didn't come down by much, we still came down below. You know, wherever we closed here, we came down a little bit. Same as this one here, we came down a little bit before we went up. Sometimes you can exceed it. Sometimes it's halfway. Sometimes it's double bottom. Sometimes you go slightly lower. So there's three scenarios we're going to get. Are we going to get, you know, a middle pullback, or a double bottom pullback, or actually a lower low pullback? Those three scenarios will play out next week. I haven't got a crystal ball to say which one is going to play out, but I know that we're going to come down first before we go up on the weekly chart. And that means the altcoins, wherever they are, they will come down a little bit more. May not be significant, but they may still come down a little bit more. If we look at it from a 6D chart, then it gives a bit of perspective, right? So the 6-day chart is saying that this MACD is more likely to stay green. And if we have this scenario, then yes, you know, we're going up, right? On 7 days, we're going up. On the 6-day chart, what we can see is we've come down a little bit, but I don't think this is enough. You know, I don't think it's enough drop. I think this move up is a fake move for people to commit before the downside. And the reason why I'll say that is when I go onto the daily chart, you would see that the daily chart, this is the dead cross, this is the golden cross, right? The golden cross, which is about to happen. So this 50-day moving average is going to cross 200. It's not crossed it yet because what you can see here is the red is 63230, and this turquoise color or violet or whatever you want to call it is 63251. So we go about $20 more before it crosses, right? So it's more likely going to come back in first and then go up. Whenever the golden cross happens, there is a dump. Whenever it happens, and I've got a bit of an analysis to share with you guys. So I did some work on that, and on this chart here, I'll show you all the scenarios where we had a golden cross on Bitcoin and what the outcomes are. So I've marked it on the chart. So this is the first one, right? So this is the first golden cross. So 50-day moving average crosses the 200. And as you can see here, as soon as it crossed it, we had a dump. We had a candle that came down here, right? You can see the red candle. So there was a pullback. And it was only 2.1% after the golden cross, right, on this particular one. And I think it was such a small pullback because it was the early phases. We'd only done like, let me see here, one drop, there, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we had done about, maybe, let me see, hold on, let's count this properly. Yeah, from here, cross the 21. So that's one drop there, one rise, 2 there, and we had a third rise here, and this whole move right here is 4. So there was a fourth move, and we went into 4, right? So there was a fifth move left, which is here, and therefore the pullback wasn't strong enough because it started at the beginning of the move. The golden cross happened at the beginning, not at the end. If the golden cross had happened somewhere here, it won't give you the same boost. So that's why probably we didn't drop much. If you come back to this here and look at the golden cross that happened here, right, in February 2023, see after the golden cross, so, we pulled into the golden cross, then we went up slightly, and this is, I think, the fake out, which I think is happening. So we go up slightly here, and then we dump, right? And then we have another last flush out before we go anywhere. And that was a 12% drop after the golden cross. Then there's the next one here, which goes back here, which is 18. We had an 18, 18.5% on this particular one. And this particular one, I think, I don't know, obviously we've done a high. This was the previous high in 2021. And we retrace backwards and we're trying to go and exceed the previous high like we're trying to do currently. So, there's some similarities there from that perspective. But we haven't risen as extensively, I'll say, as the previous. Well, we have, because we're very close to the previous top as well. So, it's possible that, this is similar to what we're trying to play. And again, when the golden cross happened, we went up, had a mini pullback, fake out, and then you had a second dump. And this was after a big dump like this. So when we come back to the current view, you would see that we've had something like this. This is what we've had. Big zip to the downside. And then we're trying to go up, right? And then you get another zip to the downside. And that's the final coffin, right? And that's the one that unfortunately kills a lot of people's portfolios, because if Bitcoin is dropping 18.5% and is dropping from here, that happens if you not risk manage yourself properly. So here you go, this 18.37%. Now, if Bitcoin would drop 18.37%, the altcoins will drop almost like 30%. So this one is probably irrelevant, probably very relevant, but we'll come back to the current view in a minute. I think there's one more. There's a few more, right? Okay. There's one here as well. So you know, on this particular golden cross here, again, it was 9.76 drop after the cross, 9.76. Here, it was 9.5, you know, again, another big drop as well, 9%. And I think there's one more here. Here, again, it was 12%. So even if you say, okay, look, let's average it out, right? Let's do a simple maths. George, can you do this for me, please, if you don't mind? If you've got a calculator. So add 12, right? 12 plus 9.5 plus 18.5 plus 12% plus 12, sorry, plus 12 plus 2.1. Can I move on? Are you there, George? Hello? Can you hear me? Or should I do it? Okay, let me do it. Let me do it. I don't know if George is there. Okay, 2.1 plus 12 plus 18.5 plus 9.
What is that 25% you miss? Isn't it that's the 25% before the 18.5?
Yeah. So that was if you calculate the full drop, right? It's 25%. But after the golden cross, you got it's 18.5.
All right.
18.5, and then we go here, it's 9.5 plus 9.5 plus 12% plus, okay, so that's it, yeah, from that side. So let's go here. I think I've added all these. Yeah, so what does that, that's how many of them? So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 5. Okay, so we got 5, right? So 5, so divided by 5, just to get an average, it's about 10%. So if we say, okay, look, let's be conservative and say, okay, look, we will get some drop, we're going to get maybe a 10% drop on Bitcoin after the golden cross. Then if you put 10% on it, okay, where does it fall? So let's put 10% from, let's say here, right? Here, 10%. Right, that brings us 10%. That brings us to somewhere here. Now, that's a 60K Bitcoin. Now, that is going to cause problems for a lot of people, right? That is going to cause some serious, if it plays out, of course, let's mark it there and see. We expect some drop. Would we get to 10%? That's just an average. Some of them is 9%. Some of them is, 10%. Some of them is 12%. So, even if you say, okay, you be conservative and you say it's 5%, and you say it's 5%, 5% brings you back to about 63.5. I think I'm more leaning towards this area being a strong support zone for Bitcoin. 63 or 63,200 or whatever it is. This 200 moving average. So let's mark that as a potential area, just above it, as our potential box for our drop. That becomes a good place for a drop on Bitcoin. Because the volumes are not great. So look at the volume, it's not strong volume to take us anywhere. This move is not strong enough. And also we're going to have this as well. So I think there's a bit of caution, caution to the wind in terms of, we could really come down a bit. And therefore we need to prepare. We need to prepare for either scenario, that, okay, the pullback may not be big and it may just come back to maybe 65,400 or actually somewhere here, 64,500, and just continue going up. Or, I mean, it comes all the way here and we are prepared for it. At least we should be prepared for the worst for our portfolios, so that, if things get really crazy, you still will have your, trades going and stuff like that. So that's on the daily chart. And then if you look at the 12 hours, so let me go back to the other chart because I like the other one. So 12 hours, again, I need to get rid of these. We marked sorry, where did we mark? We marked the 200 moving average. We marked, so let's mark it here as well. We marked this place and we marked somewhere here, I think 60K or something like that. Yeah, that was it. So, and then we can take last week's off because it's already been achieved. So let's get it off and then clean the chart. This one hasn't been hit, so we can leave it. Right, let's look at the 12-hour chart. So 12 hours, again, it's trying to go up, it's trying to go up. The 12-hour chart is trying to go up, but, volume is reasonably increasing. So the volume is ticking up. This volume is lower than this. So, hence, obviously, I think when we close this, we probably go up slightly first. It's possible we go up slightly first before, if we come down, we come down on the 12-hour chart. And then 8 hours is pretty much similar. So after this big red candle, now let me go back here. I want to show this big red candle here is very similar to that big red candle we saw when I was showing you the dead crosses. It's very similar to this one. Where is it? Here. This one. This. Very similar. Big red candle here. We move up and then we come back down again, kind of thing. It could also be similar to this one here. This one here. Very big volume, big selling volume as well. So let's bear that one in mind. And then 8 hours. The 8-hour chart is beginning to show weakness already because, we've gone up and we've gone up higher and kind of like it's stalling. So you're getting a red candle there and a red volume bar, which is not great. 4 hours, it's again triple green. So you've gone up, and the question is, by 9 o'clock, would we still be going up, or would we then start cascading down? If this stays green, then more likely you go up. So, but we've gone up. So if it starts to roll down, I won't be surprised that it starts to roll down, based on the setup currently. So I think for me, Bitcoin, there's some pullback in there. There's some pullback in here, back here, whether we get a pull support at 64.7 or not, or whether it actually goes a bit into our line here or in between the box, there's a pullback. So we just got to be prepared for that. Now, I want to show you the liquidation heat map on BTC because that will help kind of shape things up a bit. If you look at it from a 24-hour perspective, right, you can see all these here are liquidity, right? This is all liquidity. You've got like 21 million there, 16 million, 14 million, 13 million, 8 million, 9 million. There's a lot of liquidity here just on these 24 hours. So, if we come back, then that and it's more likely based on the chart that when you come back first, eat this liquidity. And the question is, do you eat it up to this point and stop? Or actually, is there more down? So if we go like 3 days, I will look at it from a 3-day perspective. There's a lot of liquidity, down all the way up to like 65K. So, if it starts to cascade down, then it could come all the way down to somewhere in the low 64s. And let me do 1 week and see if there's more liquidity at the bottom. Yeah, so we could come all the way down to about 64K based on liquidity, you know, to finish the fall based on liquidity. Let's see whether 1 month we've got a bigger liquidity below 64. Yeah, so there's some liquidity at 61,000, a big one, 167 million. So I wouldn't be surprised, yes, if we come to 60K. You know, if we drop all the way to 60K, 61K, I will not be surprised because there's a big liquidity here to be taken. It's quite big. So, you know, but we just need a bit of caution that, you know, price can come down. We just need to be ready for it if it does. Okay, so let's look at some of our altcoins. Let's look at TIER. I want to look at the TIER BTC chart, which obviously is important. So on the TIER BTC chart, what we can see here is, you know, on a weekly basis. So last week, we had a triple red. And therefore, guess what? We've come down this week. So last week, we had a triple red. If this week also ends triple red, chances are we come down. And I think I drew this last week. You know, this was put here last week, that, you know, the TIER BTC chart, it could collapse all the way down to probably here, which is 4 zeros and 664. Now, if you want to find the price for this, you just have to multiply by the price of Bitcoin. So if we say 0.00066, no, 654 times the price of Bitcoin. Let's say the price of Bitcoin is 65,000. Let's just say 65,000. Then your TIER will be at 425. Right? That will be the price of TIER when you price it in Bitcoin. That pullback will take TIER to around that figure. Yeah, that low fours. You know, is where likely you would be if Bitcoin were to fall to say 60,000. So you do 0.1234657 times say 60,000 is 394, right? So I think between $4, at least $4, low $4. I think TIER, you know, based on this chart, I think we hit low fours. You know, 420, 415. It's very possible on TIER coming into the week. So we just got to be prepared with our portfolio. Either you load up some more shorts, you know, take advantage, and then scale out of the shorts and leave your longs for the long ride when the bounce happens. But let's look at it on a USD chart, right? This is the USD version of it. So the weekly chart itself, again, it's, you know, this is red, this is red, this is red. Currently, it's not. I don't know whether this picture would be, you know, at midnight. If it is at midnight, you probably go up slightly and come back down. You know, so it could go. TIER could maybe get to like 569. You know, 569. You know, call it that. Let's move this here. Let's just move here and say 569, somewhere there, 569, 565, and then collapse back down if we end triple red like this, right? So, you know, it's worth noting on that one. There's a bit of a caution there. And then if we go and look at it from a 6-day perspective, so 6 days we had a triple red. So 80-20 probability TIER goes below $5. TIER goes below $5, 80-20 probability. So, you know, and I think, you know, 450 at the very least, you know, you could get some support there. You know, if you bring it down here, it's about $4. So, you know, when you multiply it in Bitcoin terms, $4, 3, call it what, 350, 360, 370, or even maybe somewhere $4. That the $4 mark looks like between $4 and $4.50 looks like a potential area that TIA can revisit before we actually go, crazy. It's also possible that it just exceeds this candle here slightly, like somewhere here, 476, 475, double bottom here, 470, or even here. This price is 450. So it maybe hits 450, and then you get a good bounce to go to the upside. So there's a bit of a caution on TIA based on the weekly and the 6-day chart. There's a potential for us to kind of pull down a bit more before we actually get going. And the 50-day, if I go to the daily chart, this keeps coming down to meet these moving averages, the 21, the 50, and the closer it gets, it's very good, because the moment you cross above this, that's it. You're going parabolic. The moment you cross above the 200 moving average, you go parabolic. So, it's good that it keeps coming down. It keeps coming down, whilst, of course, it's trying to consolidate itself. I mean, all this is consolidation. If you look at it from the perspective, it's not really explosive yet, but it's consolidation. It's just basically buying your coins and waiting. All this box here is consolidation. So TIA, I think some more price action to the downside. I think we'll see some more price action to the downside on TIA next week. So let's plan our portfolios accordingly. Let's look at render, right? Because obviously render it's another one that we're trading. So let's look at a render BTC chart, render Bitcoin, and let's look at it from a weekly chart perspective. So last week we had a triple red scenario, so I'm not surprised we pulled back a bit this week as well, like a double bottom type scenario. If we end like this, then there's more pain. There's a bit more downside first before we go up. I think most likely, let's look at the 6D chart. Yeah, so the 6D chart ended also, yeah, triple kind of red. So on balance, 80-20, you go down first before we go down first based on the BTC render chart. We go down. I mean, it's a strong support I hit. It hits obviously a good support zone, and we go a bounce. But I think there's more downside on this based on the 6D chart. There's more downside. If you even look at it from a 3D chart, it's still red, triple red. So there's a bit more falling on render as well. I think we have a bit more. I mean, it's a much better looking chart on a weekly chart, because okay, if you fall in here, let's say that is your fall. So you fall in all this here, and then you rise, and then you come back in. That's like a revisit to the scene of the crime. And if you get support here, then it could be the end of it. But with Bitcoin needing to pull down a little bit, that doesn't give me confidence that it's the end of it. And so when the 6-day chart confirms, okay, we've come back in and we're trying to go up straight away, there isn't even a much pullback into the wick at all, which suggests we come back a bit more. It's double bottom, lower low type scenario on this particular scenario here. Is what I'm expecting. So looking at the render BTC chart, we can now go and look at the render USD chart, right? So if we look at the USD chart, what we can see on the weekly chart, we go to weekly chart. So again, if we end like this, let me go to this one, because this one gives us the full set. Yeah, if we end like this, like that, then we will test a bit more. And I think 392 test the wick here. 392 is very possible. We could do a double bottom as well, 336, or we could come slightly lower. So it's three scenarios. We're either going to get something little bit lower, like 320, 325, or double bottom type scenario, 336, or we're going to get something slightly higher, which is here, 392. Those three scenarios is possible. It's possible on render. It's also possible that, it's also possible that we just get a flash. This is the flash that brings us back in. We've come back into the wick somehow. This candle. So if bulls want to push price, then they can push price away from here if they want to. So we just got to be prepared for either scenario on render. I think, longs are way better to collect than shorts because the upside is not here. I mean, even if we get here to here, it's okay, it's 30%, fine. But if you look at it from a perspective of after the 30%, what are we going to do? And, if this thing is going to the £10, the $10 and up to 10, 15 to $20, and you do the same and you say, okay, let's do the calculation from even here, it's almost like 351%. So we have to always trade the one with the biggest upside, in my view. But of course, you open shorts, you open longs, so you can obviously, print whilst you're going down as well, if we have to. And I think we probably will do a bit more downside on this as well. Go to the daily chart. The daily chart, I think, is trying to, go away because of this big sell-off. Always you tend to have a bit of a bounce away from it. So I think it can go all the way up to somewhere like 506 to the 9-day average, 506, 508, even a little bit of push, 513, something like that, and then starts to unravel itself down. That is possible. That is also possible. So, those are the options. I think those are the options that I see on render. Render has got some more downside. To the low fours, maybe early 90s or threes. It could get worse. It could come all the way down to 350, 340. We just have to be prepared to make sure that the worst comes to worst, your portfolio is going to be okay. Yeah. Okay. I think that's render. We've done render. Let's look at PEPE. So PEPE BTC, I don't think I have PEPE BTC, do I? Yes, I do. Yes, I've got a PEPE BTC chart. Okay, so let's look at it from a weekly chart perspective. PEPE BTC chart, again, is not looking great. Last week was not a triple red. Okay, we had MACD was red, so that was caution. And we came back down. This week as well, MACD is also red. The volume is green, but you've got a red candle. I think we go down more on PEPE. I think PEPE for me on the BTC chart, I think it hits this point. That point will be tested into next week. So based on the BTC chart, you can look at the USD pair, and the USD pair also is printing on the weekly chart, is printing a kind of a red scenario, which suggests more downside. And I've got these candles, I've got these angry faces here. So these angry faces, you can see here, we have a pink candle, right? When you have a pink candle, price tends to go below at some point, goes below it. It doesn't mean that it's going to go below it before we go up, but it means price will return to this area at some point. So if we're going to come down and it's going to get a bit messy, then, and we get here, chances are we would exceed this candle, which is 588. So I would say there, and there will be our area of interest. That will be our area of interest. The area of interest for last week was hit. So, both areas of interest were hit. So like you can delete that, don't need that anymore. So yeah, more price downside, I think, for me, on PEPE. I don't even need to go lower. I mean, if I go to the daily chart, there's more. All these are going to cross, and it's just going to send the price back down. So, this candle is a big selling volume candle. We can bounce all the way even up to here, but we'll still come back down. So that's PEPE for you. And GOAT. I know, Marshall, you're interested in GOAT. So, and I think Zach is also interested in GOAT, but he's not on the call. So, GOAT on the daily chart, because weekly chart doesn't really tell us much. It just tells us a big green candle. And with new coins, when you have big green candles, you tend to go down first before you go up. So the daily chart is now beginning to show that price is coming down. And I think price will fall all the way to at the very least, to this price, 51 at the very least. That's where I expect price to fall to. So that's why I think on GOAT is going to go down some more. And it could get worse. It could come all the way down here. I mean, because these guys are just basically, pump and dump. I call it pump and dump scheme. They pumped it hard. You get lower high and you retracing from the lower high. You're kind of the lower band here is likely the target, which is 0.26. These guys are going to sell into it. If Bitcoin is going to drop 10%, 5 to 10%, and these guys are not prepared to put their Solana coins into this anymore, they are taking their money off here, then it's going to fall a lot. So that's good. More downside. This is our target for the week. Deep, let's look at deep. Deep on the weekly chart is painting a red type scenario on the weekly chart. So, I expect some more downside. The line that we drew on deep has been hit from a downside perspective. This week, I think I'll move it to somewhere there. Let me go to the daily chart, because the daily chart will help me. So there's a strong support zone here. And, you could get 50% of this candle being the area of interest. So, let's put it up here. 4-0 on deep. 4-0 is more likely to be hit as well. But they could run it all the way down to this support zone here, 303, or even middle of this candle. So let's put another area of interest here and say, that somewhere there. That's a gap that we think, deep is going to fall into. So that's deep for you. Let's look at PENDLE. PENDLE weekly chart. Again, I mean, I think PENDLE, this is still green, so, but if Bitcoin is going to fall, then unfortunately PENDLE will also fall. And, if PENDLE is going to really fall, then, this area of interest here we didn't hit that last week. I'll probably leave it in there. But I'll put some angry faces on it. These angry faces are reflecting some pink candles that we've got. Okay, this one here has been exceeded, so it's not relevant anymore. We don't have any pink candles here. There's a pink candle there, but I think price has exceeded that. Where is it? Here. Yeah, price went below that. So it looks like all the pink candles have been recovered. So, we don't have any of that to kind of help us. But I think if Bitcoin is going to fall, most likely this also falls. If you look at the levels, this is a level 1 rise, this is level 2, and we pushed up 3, and then we have a candle that's poked up. So it coming back down, ideally you want to see us go like this. So we did this, and if you want to draw all of it, you probably say this, and therefore you need to do something like either this, or alternatively you do a double bottom. Alternatively, you do slightly lower before you go up. I think I favor the I favor a lower high to maybe somewhere here. So I will put a line on there. I think, somewhere there, this box will be filled. Price will come back into this box at some point, and you know, and then that will be the end of the fall, and then we can have our proper move to the upside. So that's that one. That's Pendle. Let's look at AAVE. AAVE is also similar. MACD is getting lower and lower and lower. We seem to be having a triple red scenario on the weekly chart. So, you know, chances are we close the week like this, we go up slightly, maybe retest this point here, and then potentially come back and retest here. So for me, I would say that area will be tested on AAVE, and potentially even the 50-day moving average can be tested as well as an area of interest for the week. We will, of course, go up. So let me just put, you know, maybe we go 50% of the body of this candle. If it closes here, of course, somewhere there as a rise target, and then you come back cascading back down. So that's AAVE. Let's look at SUI. SUI, George, are you there, George? Is George with us? No, I think he's left. I think we lost George. Okay, so you know, SUI is similar. You know, again, if we end like this, triple red, we may go back up slightly. You know, all our candles have been hit. So, you know, like if you had a short on SUI, you'd have done really well. Let's delete these. I'll move them actually. Let's keep them and I'll move them. So SUI, I think again, SUI, if we end like this, probably goes up to somewhere here. Yes, possible. But I think, you know, this thing will fall back to here, and likely the box will be here and here as a fallback target for SUI, based on the weekly time frame. I don't even want to look at the daily, but you know, this is going to come down. And again, yeah, so if you look at it from this perspective, then you know the 200 moving average becomes the area of opportunity really on the daily chart. So some more falling on SUI as well. If we look at the SUI on the Bitcoin chart, SUI Bitcoin chart, again, you can see we had a triple red last week. So consequently, another triple red, which will bring us definitely on the BTC chart to you know, somewhere there. So, you know, that is very likely on the SUI chart as well. So let's also look at it from, let's look at smoking chicken fish. It's a meme coin. You know, meme coin is dumping. You know, I think it will go lower. I think, you know, the area of interest probably goes all the way down to this point here, all the way down to 0.03. Based on the weekly chart, it's not looking good. There'll be a third candle to the downside. It may go up a little bit first, but come down. If I just put maybe go up a little bit here, somewhere there. I know Zach is very interested in this one. LYNX, one of our coins. LYNX is also looking like one that will fall some more. You know, we had a big pump, and since then we've just been falling, and this is going to be a red week, I think, based on current setup. I think we come all the way down and exceed even here. So LYNX has got some more falling on it, or you do a double bottom type scenario. And I think, you know, if I draw, I'll draw an area of interest. So that is the area of interest. So this one can go. We don't need this anymore. Can go, but that becomes an area of interest. MUBI. So MUBI is also very similar, triple red scenario. I think there's more pain, there's more downside on it. I did say 0, 2. I've already got it there. There is a pink candle on this, which I marked somewhere here, there, and that price will be exceeded. So all along, I think, you know, the analysis was right, you know, and this will come back down in. So if we go back to the weekly chart, that is possible. Let me just say that it's possible that we also even do a double bottom type scenario. Yeah. And also we do, so I'll put this as my area of interest on movie. It could come all the way down into here. And then let's go to Aptos, because some people are interested in Aptos. So Aptos on the weekly chart, and I think I've got Aptos BTC. Do I have Aptos BTC? So I'd like to check that one first. I don't think I've got that. Okay, I need to find it. Yeah, so weekly chart is not looking good. I mean, if we end like this, Aptos comes back down again. More likely, we see Aptos somewhere here around the $5.46 zone, would be mine. And then probably here would be my zone of interest on Aptos for the coming week. Let's quickly look at ALT. So ALT is also going to go a bit more down because obviously Bitcoin is going to fall, and we've got a triple red scenario here. And there's more downside. We've got a pink candle here. So definitely 0076 is going to be exceeded. So our area of interest would be there and there. That will be our area of interest, I think, on this one. CETUS is also painting a triple red scenario. I think when we open, all our lines have been hit. All our lines have been hit. So I think what I'll do is this one wasn't hit. So let's move them into position for next week. I think next week, more likely it comes back here and into here as an area of interest. And there could be a rise, slight rise. Let's go for that as a rise target before we come back down. I mean, it could come all the way down here, 0.04, very easily, come all the way down here. But we just have to play it week by week. If Bitcoin goes 10%, then yes, we probably will exceed this box, but let's see how it plays out. ONDO is also painting okay, ONDO is still green on the MACD. So, if it stays like this, we could go up first before coming down. If Bitcoin pulls down, then of course, all these coins will pull down anyway. So let's move our area of interest to here and likely bounce to somewhere there. I think that is an area that likely is going to be hit. Let's look at the daily chart. And yeah, so this red candle here, we're bouncing away, but more likely continuation to the downside first before a move to the upside. So I think the lines obviously are quite, maybe I'll move this a little bit down somewhere there as our kind of zone of interest for our fall. And the rise target could be there. I think this rise target is a bit too far-fetched. I think maybe to somewhere here as a rise target for ONDO. So that's ONDO. Let's look at another coins that people are interested in. Which other coin do you want me to have a look at, Marshall?
Yeah, can we look at Mudeng? It's another meme coin, but
which one?
Mudeng. So it's it's MOODENG.
MOOD. Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down. Oh, it's on Binance. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
it's on Binance. PEPs.
Yeah, it's on PEPs. Yeah. So it's not looking good at the moment. I think yeah, more likely we'll end the week triple red. Yeah, more likely. So I think for me, there, It's likely to be hit, and there. That's going to be your area.
20 cents.
Yeah, it's going to fall some more.
Right.
It's going to fall some more. The energy flow is down. It's down, and if Bitcoin's energy flow is going to be down, then yeah, this is going to come down.
Everything. So this week look more like on the short side.
Yeah, I think you need to increase your short position size. Equal your short position to your long position. Yeah. So like
so to increase more the short.
Yeah, so balance your short to your, so let's say you got 100 coins of render, right? Long.
Yeah.
You also have 100 coins short. Yeah, so your liquidation is zero.
Okay, got it.
And then when it comes down, then you can take profit on your short, right? And then increase your long position with the money that you've made on the short.
On the short. Okay. That's why I was struggling on a bit.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you know, you can increase your
you
short.
just increase the opposite direction if it's going the wrong way.
Correct. So you know, your opposite direction is going to have a bigger way, not bigger, but you know, like for example, for me, like I've got like you know, I've got like 7,000 tokens long. I have 4,500 short, right? It's not, I still want to be heavy on the long side, right? But I'd also want to take advantage of being able to make some money on this drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, my liquidation is zero. So, you know, I don't have a problem, you know, at the moment. But I think, yeah, you need to make sure your liquidation is zero. So that if it does play out and it's more likely, then you know you can make money on the downside. If 20% chance we don't go down, we start going crazy up, you can reduce the short, right? You might take a bit of a small loss. On your short position.
So now when you on that one, okay. So to reduce the short, you mean like you're just gonna sell the short?
Yeah, you have to. Yes. Yeah, you would have to sell some of it. No, not sell the short. You close a percentage of it. So like you can say I'll close 50%, right?
Right. Okay.
50% of it, take a small loss, and then leave, and then maybe increase, and then increase your what's the name? Your
increase the long.
Yeah, increase the long. Yeah.
Okay.
Increase the long. So that's what I think. You know.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah. And then so yeah, moon, like, you know, all these coins, if your liquidation is zero, I mean, you don't really need to worry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if your liquidation is zero, you know, whatever price does, you just happy, you know, because if it goes down, you make money. The only thing is, of course, you don't want to carry, you know, you don't want to carry too much of a short position, you know, when we go in parabolic, right? Because otherwise, you know, you're not really making money. You're still where you are, right?
Yeah.
You know, you could decide to close both trades and still be neutral. Did you see what I mean? And then at that point, decide, okay, look, well, if I've closed both trades and I'm neutral, I can open the other side if I want to. You know, but at least you got to give yourself, when the probability is more to the downside, you got to give yourself that, you know, chance that, okay, look, if it goes down, I still will make a reasonable amount of money.
Yeah.
So that's for me, that's what I'm doing. I'm just making sure that my portfolio is, you know, is stuck in that direction. You know, I want to have a bigger long position than, you know, the short side, because I don't want to. I don't want the opportunity of, let's say, you know, render goes to, now render hits $4, right? Or $3.90. I'm still going to be okay. My liquidation is 0.2, you know, like 0.2 or something like that. I could decide to care less and just decide not to do anything and leave it to come back up again, right? But I want to take advantage and make a little bit of money on the downside. So my ratio of my long to my short is still under like 40%. It's under 40%. Yeah. So I can close some of it. I won't close all of it. I will close some of it. Maybe I might close like 80% of it and still leave 20%. You know, so that it helps to balance my liquidation risk. But that's what I'm trying to do. So you know, like so that's it. I think that's about it in terms of all the coins that we want to look at. I don't think there's any others that, you know, we haven't looked. I mean, the bonks and all these coins are printing, you know, if you look at it here, you know, this is more likely to also come down a bit more. Bitcoin comes down, it's more likely to come down a bit more. You know, we could also, you know, look, we could also get up on Monday and, you know, Bitcoin decides that, you know, no, I'm just gonna go up, you know. But if that's the case, you know, that's 20% chance. It's 20% chance of that happening. Then of course we're still okay, right? Our portfolio is still okay. You know, you can sleep easy and relax. You know, whichever way it goes, you're winning, right? That's the game. You know, you win whichever way the price decides to go.
Yeah. Cool.
Let me stop recording this. Stop, pause, stop. Oh, how do you do it?